Welcome back to the War Room. In Myth Machine's War Room, yeah. Tonight we return to World in Flames, 5th edition, with Days of Decision 3 duct taped onto 5th edition, as the crisis enters September and October 1939. And by crisis, of course, we mean World War! Yeah. Last turn, we saw the war spread with extraordinary violence. Warsaw has fallen, though not before Poland's defenders and pilots inflicted shocking losses on the German war machine. The Luftwaffe was effectively cut in half by those die rolls. Plenty of German civilians are now dreading sending their sons into the Luftwaffe, particularly into the fighter divisions, as it were. The tactical bombers are still doing fine. In the west, the conflict widened as well. Germany struck Denmark, the Netherlands, Belgium, and by that act brought Britain into the war. Echoes from 1914. France is already committed, of course. The Commonwealth is also now committed. Germany stands at the center of this widening storm. Some would say of its own making. Yet for all that, the war is not settled yet. Germany has gained ground, but at real cost. France has strengthened its diplomatic position. The Commonwealth is only now stepping fully into the struggle. The United States still strains to complete its own military preparations. Italy watches for advantage. The Soviet Union waits. And in China, Japan continues to buy progress with blood, because we can look at the lines here. Yeah, it's slowly but surely. The Chinese are slowly but surely being pressed in towards the heartlands. But it was not cheap. The Japanese lost an elite infantry corps in exchange. Tonight, we begin, as always, with political affairs. And who knows? The diplomats are trying to catch up to what the military planners have been doing, and so on. As always, I have already prepared the bids. And remember, if you like this and want to get more of the broadcasts straight from our news center, follow, subscribe, bell icons if you are on Twitch and YouTube and so on and so forth. So here we go. Let's see what kind of bids we have. Germany bids 12. 12 bid points for Germany puts it to 16. Apparently we are going to be aggressive politically as well as militarily. France bids 12. Plus 3 is 15. These are some wild bids, my friends. The Commonwealth bids 26. Ooh, that's all at plus 2. That's 28. And it's actually going to split it into 2. So 14 each. So we now have 2 bids going to be done here. 2 options. The Commonwealth is playing for 2 options. The US is paying 7, plus 3 is 10. Italy, 2 plus 2 is 4. When everybody's bidding so astronomically high, I guess that's what happens. Russia, 1 plus 1 is 2. Japan, 1 plus 1 is also 2. And China's always a single, which doesn't get it very far. So this time we actually have... Okay, we need to adjust things here a bit. The initiative position for the Commonwealth is going to be like that, but we'll have to roll twice for the Commonwealth to end their turns. So we don't know if the Commonwealth will get to do their second option at all. Germany, is there any money left in the German cash box at this stage? Yes, there is some money left here. There is no bid points here, but we're going to reduce the money by 12, then further into minus 8. And Germany will have 2, because that's what we did during the turn. A reactionary declaration of war on not 1, not 2, but 3 minor countries at once, which costs Germany 9 more money. So Germany will end up at minus 17 money. That is going to be painful. But the Führer says it had to be done, and I guess Berlin will simply trust in that. So, it's Krieg, and it's Krieg with three different countries. It's Denmark, the Netherlands, and Belgium. We are now at 1939, so the US entry is a 6. And then we add Belgium, that's an 8. So let's add everything. So we have 6 plus 8. And to Denmark, that is a 2. Okay. That's not much. I don't know why the US doesn't care about Denmark at all, but it doesn't. And the Netherlands is a 9. So altogether it's going to be actually 26 extra US entry because the president has vetoed the Neutrality Act. So we will end up with a base US entry of 89 for Germany. That's a big leap. This is really going to catch the attention of Congress. There will be many a hearing, many debate, many senators probably running on a profile of stopping the German war machine, because now Germany has a net US entry, effective US entry of 31. Italy sits at a -10. And Japan sits at 29. Huge leap in international tension there. The US needs to get to 81. 31 is certainly on the way, as it were. We also have to adjust the map for all the minor country effects, which are considerable. Alright, there's no Austria left. Baltic states do exist technically, that's +1. Belgium has no effect on the Baltic states. Denmark, no effect. Netherlands, no effect either. So all we get is a +1 to Germany. Okay. Means that we now have a -2 to Germany. Is there a -2 anywhere? Ah, I can use this one. Very well. We go on. Belgium is -2 in general, and then of course we declared war, so that's -11. And then Denmark, no reaction, and Netherlands, another -4. So right now we have -15 to Belgium. Yep, -15. I think that makes sense. And there's already -6 here, so that makes it -21. I think Belgium will happily join the Allies. -21. Outraged Belgium. Absolutely outraged. And why shouldn't they be? That's 18. Oh, we need 3 more, which we have over here. There. Absolutely outraged Belgium. Which is not surprising. Denmark and Netherlands would also be outraged if they were still in the game, but they have been conquered as of last turn. Bulgaria, a +1. Do not react to the declaration of war on either of those two, and not on Netherlands either, so it's just a +1. Flat old +1. Which puts us to a +4 altogether. Bulgaria can be swayed to the Axis side. Czechoslovakia doesn't exist. Finland does exist, and that is a +1 there. Belgium. Yeah, Denmark doesn't exist anymore. Finland, no reaction there. Denmark, a reaction here. Okay, so 0. And then Netherlands, Nothing. So no reaction for Finland. Hungary +2. Let's see. Ireland -2. Is there anyone else reacting here to Denmark? Nope. Nobody cares if Denmark is invaded, apparently. According to this chart. -1 more. So we actually have a -3 to Ireland altogether. This doesn't happen very frequently that Ireland reacts negatively to what Germany is doing, but this is one such case. I'm not going to even try to pronounce the name of the Irish Parliament because it's Irish and I will not be able to pull that off. We said Hungary. Let's see if there is anyone else here. Netherlands is gone, so doesn't matter. Norway. No reaction to the attack on Belgium. Must react to the attack on Denmark, surely. Yes, a meagerly -1. And then another -2 for the attack on the Netherlands. So -3 to Norway altogether. Actually, -4. Okay, let's get back to Hungary. Because clearly I can't do my math or alphabet properly. -8 in total to Norway. There is a definite chance here for the Allies to exploit this, should they have the chance, and move Norway to their corner. Norway does have 2 resources that I'm sure France could see as a welcome addition. Alright, Hungary has no reaction at all to the declaration of war on Belgium, no reaction to a declaration of war on Denmark, and no reaction to a declaration of war on the Netherlands. But generally a +2 to Germany because they just love Germany. So that's a +6 in Hungary too. Okay, how did that happen? It's a +6. Did I? Was it a +4 and then it... Okay. +6. There we go. Yeah. Hungary is already really close to going over to that core area there. Currently supplying Italy with a resource. With its resource. That was Hungary. We have Netherlands, Norway, Poland doesn't exist anymore. What else do we have here? Hungary, Iraq. I don't think there's going to be any reactions in Iraq to much of anything. Netherlands doesn't exist. Norway, Persia. No reaction there. No reaction there. No reaction there. Okay, Poland doesn't exist. Portugal. No reaction there. Belgium, no. Denmark, no. Netherlands, +1. Okay. Don't know why they like that, but they do. It'll be interesting to have a commentary from the game designers on why they calibrated some of these reactions the way they did. There must be some kind of historical rationale behind it, but sometimes I cannot detect it on my own. Romania -1. Let's see if Romania is listed here. Romania, nothing to Belgium, nothing to Denmark. Netherlands, nothing either. So it's just a -1, flat -1 for Romania. Flat -1 for Romania. Romania, of course, is now in the democratic camp, which is a huge bother for Berlin, but also tomorrow Berlin's problem, I think. Sweden a -1. Belgium affects Spain a -1. Okay. Denmark, no effects on Spain. Netherlands. Also a -1 to Spain. So -2 to Spain altogether. And we don't have any previous effects there, so it's going to be the -2. The Spanish Republic is not pleased with what's happening in Europe and takes exception to what Germany's doing. It's going to be profitable for someone to activate Spain soon. -2, these others are -1s, so that's not going to help much. And Spain is dead center in the middle, so right now there is no profit for anyone to activate Spain. Not going to move out of that hole. We said -1 to Sweden. Sweden will react on the declaration of war with Belgium. Not at all. Denmark, that should be a reaction because it's a Nordic country, right? So it's a -1, so that's -2 together. And Netherlands also a -1, -3 altogether. And Sweden already has a -3. So now we are looking at a -6 in Sweden, which is absolutely not something that Germany wants, because Germany has a lot of resources coming in from Sweden. And look at this. Here it is, Sweden on the chart. It costs 2 to step there, so it can actually be dragged into the Allied camp now. Some adverse effects here for Germany. The world is not reacting to it altogether positively, this outrageous attack. Attacking Belgium doesn't affect Turkey now, nor Denmark, the Netherlands. Nope, not that either. There's going to be a +1 in total for Turkey. And I think this is where things are compensating themselves a bit. +3 is +3, isn't it? So I don't know exactly where Turkey is on the display right now, but Turkey is in fact... Oh, it's right here! +3 is really bad for the Allies. That's 2, 4. Yeah, okay, so it can go up here now. Very close to the German camp. If the Germans can get Turkey to join in, that would be a major coup. Yugoslavia, -1. Belgium, a declaration of war in Belgium doesn't affect Yugoslavia at all. Denmark is also very far away, and the Netherlands also. So it's a -1 to Yugoslavia in total. And there's already a -4 here, so that makes it a -5 in total for Yugoslavia. Europe is polarizing quickly, clearly, over all of this. But Germany has at least played the declarations of war that it owed for last turn. Will there be new declarations of war during this turn? Who knows? We'll find out. Germany will have to activate a minor country. And I think that Turkey might be the most interesting choice. Sweden... Turkey or Sweden, isn't it? That's the question, because look at Sweden, -6. Can we do anything here with Sweden too? Yes, we can keep it out of the Allied camp. Sweden has those resources. Let's do that. So we should definitely activate Sweden, talk to them gently, Germany is sending its various ambassadors, other diplomats, maybe having a state dinner for the Swedish ambassador in Berlin, butter them up properly, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 7, 8, and 9. This way, Sweden is not in the Allied camp. It sits between the democracies and the communist camp. The -1 to France doesn't do anything in this case, and that is much better than having it here. So, how is this reported? Berlin opens new front across Northern Europe. The German government has formally declared war on Denmark, the Netherlands, and Belgium, confirming over the past couple of months, confirming what Europe had already begun to fear. The conflict is no longer confined to Poland and the Franco-German frontier, but is expanding into a general war across the continent. Berlin has offered the usual language of necessity and security, claiming that hostile encirclement and military threats left the Reich no choice. Few abroad are persuaded. To most observers, the declarations represent a calculated widening of the war in order to clear Germany's strategic approaches and prepare the ground for operations in the west. The move transforms the military map at a stroke. Neutral frontiers have become active battle lines, and nations that hope to remain outside the struggle now find themselves directly in its path. So let us see if the turn ends with that. I'm sure Germany wants it to end, but nobody else wants that to end. So let's roll and see what happens. It does not end. Okay, then it is the French turn to do something. Alright, France proposes a alliance with the Commonwealth. Paris moves to tighten the Anglo-French bond. Dateline from Paris. The French government has moved to deepen its political relationship with Great Britain, proposing a stronger formal understanding between the two democracies at a moment when the European war is spreading with alarming speed. French officials regard the measure as both prudent and necessary. Germany has widened the conflict into the Low Countries. Britain is now directly involved, and the days when Paris and London could afford anything less than the closest cooperation appears to be over. What was once consultation is now being shaped into a more durable wartime partnership. The proposal is also meant to send a clear signal. Whatever differences of timing or method may remain between the two governments, France and Britain increasingly understand that they face the same enemy and may soon have to fight as a single political front. This is a proposal for a major power treaty, Great Power Pact. France bid a bazillion. Let's see, what was it? It was 12 points. That is a lot. France had no money, no bid points. So that sends France into minus 12. And if it gets to do the treaty, it's going to end up at a minus 15, which is, I believe... Yep, that is its credit limit. So France is going to allow itself to be bankrupted over this. Possibly. However, we don't know if the Commonwealth is ready to say yes to this treaty yet. Oh, this little Polish guy is dead. Gotta just send him to the pile of dead. Alright, France gets to activate a minor country, let's not forget. And I think we might want to activate Turkey to avoid Turkey entering the war on the German side. How can we do that? Is there a possibility to do this? Let's have ourselves a look. I'm not sure it's possible to avoid. But we can check. -2 to France would send it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so that's not going to make any difference at all. Unless we burn the one to Germany, and that would go 1, 2, 3, and then -2 to France brings it down there, and then -1 to the Soviets brings it here. That doesn't help much, does it? Maybe let's avoid that. We don't want Germany to get a bunch of resources for nothing. What else can we do? Yugoslavia is interesting, isn't it? Yugoslavia is, in fact, I believe, allied with France. Yes, it is. It's also allied with the Soviet Union. That is a bit of a problem. It would move 1 step towards the Soviet Union, 1 step towards France, and then 1 step away from Germany. So, 1, 2... like that. It's not terrible, is it? Gets it closer to... How about Norway? Norway is in the middle. And has a lot of negatives towards Germany, particularly. We would love to join in Belgium, but that's not an option right now because Belgium needs to get allied first and then joined in. So that's two political options at once. But this could be profitable because Norway has 2 resources. That would have to be shipped, no doubt. So here it is, Norway. -8 to Germany. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would be 3 points. Now we have 5 left. So we get there. 1 point left is not going to do anything. And yeah, okay, so it would get over here. It's not terrible. Could we move it in any other way here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we could move it there. That's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 7. Could we get it over that side there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This would be 8 then, wouldn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 3, 4, 5, 8. And now, because 1, 2, so this one doesn't do anything. If we play it second, and this one moves it 1 step closer to the Commonwealth. That is the move, I think. Norway is going to find itself in the camp of democracies, and now all it would take to get Norway to join into the war is 1 alliance and 1 join-in option. So that is the French activation. This also means, I believe, that France will get the Norwegian resources, doesn't it? There are 2 of those, I think. Nope, there is 1 resource in Norway. Let's see. Political control effects. In the same faction, you gain the effects. Let's see now. You can control when playing, rebase and stack in the minor's country. You may also control who may rent the do. Your major power may use any resources and factories, red factories in that minor country which are not committed to another major power. So yes, France can in fact use the Norwegian resource. Of course, to do that, it's going to have a convoy line out there. But it is worth marking that France currently has domain over that resource, which I'm sure France wants. Let's see now, 9 resources. We have a production multiple of 2, 6 factories. So yeah, that's another money for France right there. That is not bad at all. If France can send out a transport there, which I'm sure France can, though France only has that 1 transport there. Do we have any other transports in France? France might need to build a transport. Yep, France is going to have to build a transport. But that might be worth it, because, yeah, having a convoy line from Norway to France, that is going to disturb the Germans a little bit. Okay, so we'll see how that is managed later in the turn. Now, France is going to roll, and doesn't want to roll a 1, 2, 3. And rolls a 1! And that is the worst thing that can happen for the Commonwealth right now, and for the Allies, honestly. Why hasn't it registered yet? It's weird. It's a 1 anyway. Which means that the Commonwealth does not get to respond to, and does not get to play its declaration of war. That is an absolute and complete disaster. They took a gamble, it did not pay off. 26, so that is 6 bid points away there. Minus 17 money for not getting to do anything. They will get 6 bid points back for not having played their options. And as always, oh, there comes the roll, hey? The US does not get to gear up. It's been trying to gear up all year long, and I've just been keeping rolling out terribly on this. Every single political turn so far in 1939 has been like 1, 2, or 3 options at most played. No long political turns at all. Italy to bet 2 gets 3 back, so that's a net of +1. The Soviets put down the 1, has so net +3. Whenever the Soviets want to do something, they will be able to do it. Japan put down a 1, gets +1 net. Same thing with China. So we do not have closer collaboration between the Commonwealth and France. And I don't know if they're going to get another chance to do this. The way they played, they bet the house on this, and they lost because I rolled terribly on my end of turn. For them, I roll amazingly for the Axis, obviously. We roll for initiative after the reinforcement segment, so let's put in the reinforcements first, shall we? September, October, Italy gains a transport and an HQ. Germany's going to gain an HQ and 2 infantry corps. France gains a battleship. Britain gains more destroyer hulls laid down, as does the United States of America. Commonwealth, oh look, Germany gains a submarine, also gains an Indian and a Canadian infantry corps. And that is all the various reinforcements coming in on the European map, let's say. So, Graziani. And a transport. We can just put both of them in Taranto. A French battleship will definitely come into Brest. Seems like a good place to put it. The Canadian Infantry Corps will come in Canada, of course. And the Indian will do so in India. You can put it in Western India. What is today called Mumbai, what was then Bombay. And we have a fighter wing as well coming into the Commonwealth. So now they're going to have the problem in the Commonwealth that, let's put them in Manchester there as a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Put it in Birmingham and cover everything. That there can be no collaboration between the Commonwealth and France this turn because they do not have that level 2 treaty. That's a problem. That is definitely a problem for them. Just purely statistically, we should have had a full political turn by now. This is more than silly. The Soviets are getting 2 new infantry corps mobilized on map. We're going to put them in Europe. I'm going to put them... This guy should not be flipped. Okay, so I guess we're going to put 1 right here in Leningrad for absolutely no reason. Hi, Finland. Don't feel threatened or anything. There's nothing to it. And 1 in Minsk, because it's an empty city. We are getting some reinforcements for China and Japan as well. China gets a 4-2 army. And where are we putting these guys? I think Guiyang is the right place to put it, honestly. It's either that or in Kunming, which is not bad either, to be honest. Changsha is... Oh, that's where we're putting it. Changsha, obviously. Duh. And for the Japanese, look at that. We have a battleship It is the Ise and the Hyuga. They're pretty large battleships. And we have 2 new infantry corps coming in. No, armies, actually. 2 new infantry armies coming in. That will definitely be needed against China, I'm guessing. Though the Chinese resistance has stiffened, so it's going to be much harder to get through there now than it used to be. There's no doubt about that. Alright, so that was all the reinforcements. Let's roll initiative, shall we? Last time was Axis initiative, so if we roll even, it's going to go to the Allies, but the Axis have +1 on the die roll and a possible reroll. And that won't be needed because the Axis got a 4 in total and the Allies got a 1. So we're going to have Axis initiative again, which is a disaster for France, honestly. And I'm going to show you why. First of all, we will roll weather. It's a 1. Don't know if that is good for the Axis, to be honest. We had a 2 last term for July, August. September, October is going to be really bad. Okay, so the Allies just got saved by the weather. Saved by the weather. Mud everywhere except in the southern Monsoon, where nobody's fighting right now. No attacks in China at all. And 5 steps between every impulse. So this will be the worst weather possible. And that is... yeah. HQs cannot move. Mud. HQs. No movements or attacks. Supply range reduced by 2 hexes. Was it 2 hexes? 1 hex? 1 hex. Okay, 1 hex. So, yes, we have Axis initiative. Axis begins. Germany will begin with a very not surprising land. Italy is not at war with anyone, has no reason to be at war with anyone right now. Or does it? We have 4 transports here in Taranto. We have a couple of capital ships. We do not have any infantry here at all. We have Graziani. And I recall that I wanted to send him down to Tripoli. Just in case. So I guess we can do that. Just grabbing this transport, putting Graziani down there. That's 1 naval move. And then we can move Graziani down to Tripoli. And that will be it. That's it, basically. The sweetness of being neutral. Alright, Germany has problems. It's gonna get stuck in the mud immediately. I think France just got saved by this, honestly. There's gonna be no effect on the actual battle results. So the battle tables are not affected by this weather. But it's still bad. Land move. Land phase. Land impulse. And none of the HQs can move. Disaster. Germany only has so much time before winter really comes. Winter is coming, as they say, in a different fictional setting. 1, 2. So that costs 2 each because of the mud. Germany has very good movement rates, which is gonna kind of save it right now. Way too much armor here for comfort, but that's life. Okay. What I need to do here is, before I do the ground moves, is a ground strike, and then aircraft rebase, and then strategic movement. I need to follow this properly, so sorry. Didn't. Ground strikes. Where might we want to do a ground strike? The French have their entire air force up, which is a lot of air force, and that is something the Germans do not have currently. The Germans have 2 fighter wings here. 1, 2, 3, 4, which cannot reach my objective. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just out of reach. Okay. That is very annoying. Very annoying indeed. Could reach here, but I don't know that is a lot. Maybe it is some help because it does stop these units from moving. We could always strike in Belgium because the Belgians cannot stop that. They don't have an air force, and the Belgians are not aligned with either France. I think France can actually enter Belgium, by the way, because they are in the same. But yeah. So I might have made a mistake there with that, but they're in the same area. Ah. And you may use any resources. If you're allied, you can also enter its territory. We're not allied with the minor country. Okay, so no, we cannot enter the Belgium unless they're actually allied. Okay, so good to know. So I didn't make a mistake on that. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is safe because again, these guys can't support the Belgians. These guys can't support the Belgians. So we can at least do a ground strike there. We can do a ground strike here, but that would see a lot of French pilots going up to buzz us. So let's not do that. Okay, we will just attack here. It is... we need 2s, which is not so good. 1, that's a miss, and 2, it's a miss. Yeah, this is not the strongest tactical bomber in the game for Germany, let's just say. Aircraft rebasing, I think we need the fighters to really... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's as far as it gets. Yeah, that's like that, because that's not a city. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. That's the entire Luftwaffe now. At least in the vicinity. We're gonna have to do more rebasings. Yep. We are going to get completely stuck. Strategic movement phase. We can rail things. Kesselring can be railed. To Aachen, he will be flipped, but he will be there. Land movement. That's what we were talking about, and we're gonna fix that. Okay, so this unit will move here. This unit can move there. Cannot move into the forest because that costs 4 points, so it will be flipped. But the 8-4 can move into the forest. That's 2. My Fallschirmjäger could move, but I want them to do Fallschirmjägery stuff. We have a 7-4 here. We have... ah! Hermann Göring Corps. And we have these guys over here. So I guess we will move the infantry corps down there. That is as far as it gets because of the mud. Rundstedt is not placed in a city, so cannot be railed. Very sad. I have a 7-4 here. I have... we can't have France getting... oh, pipeline placement happens before everything else, so... pipeline, there we go. Now France is getting that extra resource. +1, and that means 10 in production per turn. It's not going to be something that Germany is very pleased with, but Germany does have submarines that can be used in later impulses, should that be necessary. Which means that France is going to have to send troops. Oh, I didn't even place my reinforcements. Gee. I don't need coffee. You need coffee. That's the situation here. Okay, an Algerian is definitely going into Reims. There we go. The submarine is going here into Kiel, of course. I don't need coffee. You need coffee. Rommel can be placed. We want him as close to the front line as possible, right? Aachen is a city. So, let's put him in Aachen then. From there, he will actually be able to flip stuff. These are not terribly impressive troops, but they are troops nonetheless. Okay. Did I want to move these guys anywhere? I don't think so. I think they're fine where they are. Okay. Now, the biggest problem here for Germany is no doubt of HQ capacity. That is a huge problem. Germany will need to do a combined before the end of this turn just to be able to rebase a bunch of aircraft, basically, close to the front lines, because the army has really run away from Luftwaffe help in that regard. We have 16 plus 17 plus 15. 16 plus 17 plus 15 divided by 9 for the Belgians. That is 5-1 on the assault table. Of course we're going to roll that. I roll a 2, which is amazingly bad. That is 1 each. Belgium still stands. Believe it or not. And it cost Germany a 7-4 infantry corps. Remember that Denmark cost them an 8-4. Because of course it did. And it also means that everything here is flipped. Because of course it does. I don't know if I can have 2 HQs in the same. Okay, so that HQ will have to be railed somewhere else. Which could be Amsterdam. So I have Rommel here, so I could reorganize 2 of these units. I can't reach these guys. That's just how it is. Now I'm gonna have 17 against 5, which is still 3-1 odds, which is terrible, but that's life right now. Okay. Germany stuck in the mud, attacked Brussels, did not get through, and this unit cannot move over to Antwerp, so this means that the British could actually... No, they can't move into Belgium. Oh, it's sad. Just sad. What's going to happen in the Pacific? We have Japan, which was always going to do a combined, because Japan is only at limited war with China. And we're coming to the area, to the time of year when the south is going to be a more profitable place to attack, because the weather is going to be better, generally speaking. Right now, of course, the weather is terrible in the North Monsoon here. And that's just something we're going to have to live with for now. But yeah, let's get cracking on some more infantry. Do we want to send the infantry to... I guess we do. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Like that. Both of them can step ashore. Stepping ashore costs 4 points because it's Monsoon. So they will both be flipped. We have used both transports. We have one more land move to make. We are not allowed to make any attacks this impulse. I can move that one down there. It's going to get flipped. So now we have a continuous Japanese line facing the Chinese communists. Tightening the noose a little bit there, but it's just contact, right? We don't have the forces to attack, and we're not even allowed to attack at this stage because of this weather. This guy can actually get over here. And we could move Para up there. It could be here, maybe? So in the future, we can move 7-4 like that. No, it's going to go one step, and then one step, and then one step. Okay, that's... Or we can move like that and just flip it. That's also a possibility. Everything is just mud. We had a conversation on the Facebook group World in Flames players about what our new point of view character for Japan should be, because Sergeant Sato, who was part of the 14th Army that was killed in action here south of Changsha in the plains, is dead. We had two suggestions. One was suggesting Kempetai officer in occupied territories. That's not assigned to a unit, mind you, so I'm not as attracted to that idea. Someone else said dive bomber, tactical bomber, and we do have a unit of tactical bombers here, don't we? So I guess we could do that, perhaps. We'll see. If you have any opinions, feel free to mark that down in chat. But the first Axis impulse is over, and Belgium stands, which is a disaster for Germany. What did I need to roll? A 5-1 is supposed to be okay odds. It's hard to get better odds than that for anyone. And I needed to roll a 4. That's what I needed to roll. So it's a 50-50 chance, and didn't get it. I tried. Got diced. France. Here we go, France. Vive la France. These guys are flipped. It's 7 and it is 8. That is 15 in defense. I don't think that we have any reason to try to attack that. It's gonna be very bad for us if we do. What we could do is try to disrupt more German formations, like these guys, for example. I think we're allowed to do that. This is Belgian territory, though, but they're not. I don't know if I'm allowed to do that. I can do it to these guys, maybe, or others. At any rate, is France going to do a combined or a land? That's a very good question, isn't it? Huh. These guys should be pulled back, because we have no real use for Saarbrücken strategically. Okay, let's do a proper land here, just to shuffle stuff. Germany is going to have 2 hexes on northern France here. We want as good defense as possible there. There's 2 hexes there, but this is a river. There's no river here. So that we need defenses for. It has 12 defense right now, which is not bad for France. We have 11 defense here. We have 11 defense here. We have 9 defense in Saarbrücken. Then we have 3-2 and a 5-3. I think we're gonna need to move the 5-3. I don't know that we cannot move the Gold or George because of the bad weather. Would like to move the tax because they don't make any difference in the marginal anyway. So that's 2 land moves. What else do we have here? I have 2 6s there. I have this 5-3. I'm gonna move that one there. I have a 6 here that can move over there. I have a lot of bombers. When I say a lot, too. I think we're gonna keep everything in defense. We have a very defensive posture here, so... The Syrian could move up here instead. Gives us a 4-3 here. I can keep moving towards the west, albeit not very quickly, because we're gonna want to beef up the defenses there. I don't really see any reason why we should give the Germans Saarbrücken back. It doesn't really make... The only real difference it makes is that Germany can't get reinforcements in there. Shortening the lines is probably advisable, so okay, let's give up Saarbrücken. In that case, that guy should go there, this guy should go there, and both of these guys should go there. To cover behind the Maginot Line. Wasn't it like this? I think it was like that. And then I have to count. 1, 2... Nah, now we're gonna keep them there for defense, definitely. Okay, Britain cannot send an expeditionary force much of anywhere because we do not have alliances with the countries we want to have alliances with. If they attack Portugal, it's another matter, but not there. So I guess we're gonna do a naval a limited naval, if you will. What am I doing with this submarine in Scapa-Flow? There are no... Yeah, we're not going to get to any convoys there anyway, so... 1, 2, 3. And we're going to send out all of these guys from Scapa here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or are we? Like this, we could do ground strikes against anything along the coast. But I'm also thinking about the convoy protection. We're gonna actually wait with sending out the destroyers until Germany has sent out theirs. Since we don't have... I need another transport with Britain, with the Commonwealth. Because we need to get the Canadians to Europe. But if we can get some kind of treaty with France before that, I'm going to need the transports there. Okay, New Zealand, here we go. 1, 2... So, okay, 1, 2, or 1, 2, 3, 4. They're coming. It's gonna take a while, but they are on the way. I think they're gonna end up in India at the end of this turn. I don't think we can make it to, possibly to the Sudan, possibly. The Soviets, it's mud everywhere, and mud, that is 6 points to move anywhere here. So I guess these guys will be flipped, and these guys will be flipped. That's 4 moves right there. We have 1 more for the Soviets to do. Karelia. We need an HQ up there. Speaking of which, hi HQ. Do I want to send Zhukov or Rokossovsky to Leningrad? Let's send Zhukov. That sends a signal. Doesn't it? One, 2, 3, 4. This guy is out of supply at the moment. Oh, there was already 2 units in Minsk. That. So that is what we get in the Soviet Union, which doesn't really have much more reason to move much of anything. The home fleet is out there. I'm not sure they're allowed to no, they're not allowed to protect the French convoy because of that lack of treaty levels. China is not moving anything either. There's really no point in moving anything in China, except maybe Chang, because Chang is a bit cut off from everything here. So we're moving him down here now that there's no big fight. He's gonna be flipped, and next turn he's gonna get down here. We'll be able to provide some support down in the south. But yeah, the Chinese line would be completely stuck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As I told you, very short turn this time. Axis impulse number 2. Going into mountains costs 3 points. That's 6 points now when it's muddy. Subtropical. Yeah, okay. So either I go 1 step up here and I remain unflipped, or I go 1 step down there and I get flipped. Not a lot of point in having a tank attack a city, because that's still an assault. So we can move this one over here and this one over there. The infantry would get flipped because of the current weather, and we can't attack anything anyway. But this way we actually have a blitz possibility, though against 8 there we have 2 to 1. The Chinese lines are solidifying, aren't they? I don't think they're gonna get any support from the British this turn, because the British are gonna need all the money they can, because yeah, that was 3 moves for the Japanese. It's basically just shuffling at this point. The Germans, let's do a combined, shall we? We'll do a combined. We can send out some submarines. We have a lot of submarines. We have a lot of submarines. Look at that. 1, 2, 3. They're all going to be in the North Sea trying to hunt down this one convoy. Or are they? Can I reach anything else that is useful? I don't think I can, honestly. I can have 2 here. And I have... So, 1. 2, 3. It's a convoy attack of some sort, right? But it's not a good one. Huh. Yeah, no, it's better to concentrate the forces here in the North Atlantic, I think. Force the French to respond to that. So that's one move. We do not, absolutely not want to move the Germans Kriegsmarine out, because it's going to get absolutely mauled. Port attacks, I don't have any capacity to do port attacks, I don't think, unless I have a naval air somewhere that I'm not aware of. I do not. Germany needs to build some naval air. That's what Germany needs to do. So we have 6 land moves. I could go for a para-troop insertion. I have... Where are my paras? Here they are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, I can't reach it. Because 9 plus all of that would be nice. But I have to do a aircraft rebase, and that's what we're gonna do here. No port attacks, naval movement done, naval combat phase no. We're not gonna try to attack the British Navy with our subs. A strategic bombardment phase. Do we want to do a strategic bombardment bomb run against France? I have strategic bombers. France has factories. But I can't reach with my fighters to do a proper escort, can I? Unless I do it here. Right? Strasbourg. No, that's just too... Is this a factory here? Yes, that is a factory. If I strike here, we have 2 strategic bombers. One of them is very good air-to-air, honestly. How many fighters would France send up against this? Let's see. We have quite a few. There's these guys here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's do it this way. We send half the fighters. And we have a front bomber like that, and that means that Germany has a 6 in defense against a 6 in attack for the French. The French rolled first, but it doesn't matter because everything is simultaneous when it comes to air-to-air combat. So let's get all the dice in there and roll away. So we have a 9 and 7. 7 for France on a 0. 7 for France. Defender clears through. That is not what we wanted as France. And DC means any one of his bombers. So we're going to clear through the bomber that has the weaker air-to-air rating. And we rolled a 9 for shooting back. The sky is blackened by bombers and whatnot. And we rolled a 9. Defender aborts. Look at that. Front fighter or bomber. That is not bad. So the French will in fact have to send this fighter back. Okay, now we have 5 against 4, so that's a +1 for Germany. That's 6 for France, 8 for Germany. 6 for France on a -1. Attacker clears through. So, yeah, all the heavy bombers are getting through this time. And we rolled 6 for the French. No, the Germans rolled an 8. on a +1. Which is nothing. So the French Air Force survives the day. The French brave pilots in their Devoitins D520s, my favorite French aircraft of the era, they are standing up to the Luftwaffe as best as they can, which is, in this case, meh. All the bombers get through, and we're going to run a strategic bomb. For the first time in this game, we're going to have heavy bombers dropping bombs on a factory. We have 10 points, and they were intercepted, so we can't add. It's a D6. We can't add anything to the die roll. Here we go. Boom! And it's a 4 against France. And it's 10, and I roll 4. That is 2 build and or resource points lost. France loses 2 build points this turn. Not the factory though, it remains producing. But I dare say that losing 2 points, build points, is really bad for France. So these bombers have definitely done their duty this time for the Reich. Okay, so that's how the pile should look like. There we go. Properly organized pile right there. Okay, so that was the strategic bombardment. We have ground strikes. This would be great to have struck. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so let's try again. It's a 1 to 3. No! The Stukas cannot hit anything today. They are just missing everything. That is statistically unlikely, let's just say. The aircraft rebase phase. We have a combined German phase here. Germany can do 3 aircraft rebases. That's like the entire Air Force there. But we also have these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we can reach the entire front line from over there. So that's 2. And I can do a third one, which is definitely going to have to be one of my fighters. I can put the fighter in the city here. Like that. So that's 3. Now we can reach everything, but now it's too late. Or is it? Land movement phase. No, strategic movement. I can move something strategically over here. There we go. Lots of troops in that city. It's an important hub, apparently. Karl Voss is over here, waiting his turn to get to the front lines, but everything is backed up because of disorganized things in Belgium. You know what? I might reconsider my rebasing of aircraft here. It was there, because if I rebase these guys to Köln here, or Dusseldorf, then I can use them to attack here, which we shall need, won't we? So that's an aircraft rebase. That's those aircraft rebase. Yeah, okay, so we've not done the Stukas, we've done the land, the strategic, the aircraft rebase, we've done the strategic movement, now we have land movement, and then air transport and power drops. So we have 17 here. And now I didn't move the flying artillery forwards, did I? But I have +1 from that guy. 1, 2, 3, 4. He can reach. Okay, so 17 plus 9 plus 1 possibly divided by 5. That is 5 to 1. So if we bring in our... they're both tanks. If I lose anything here, I'm going to lose either para or tanks. But we do want to get through, don't we? So let's go. Fighter is not necessary in this case. So with the airborne assault on Brussels, we get a 5 to 1. It's again assault. I roll a 1. Ugh. 2 for 1. Okay. Oh, that's just terrible. 2 for 1. Is this going to be a massacre of airborne troops? Or am I taking 1 airborne and 1 tank because I have so many tanks and I only have the 1 airborne? Oh, disaster. Germany's getting diced this turn, so Brussels will fall, but the Belgians are fighting tooth and nail. They are not giving an inch without charging the Germans in blood. If I take both as tanks, that's 12 points in damage. In money damage. If I don't, I could do this, and again everything is flipped. At least France will not be able to push in. But this is some horrible losses for Germany. Oh. Elite units just die massacred in Belgium, in the streets of Brussels. This will take forever to repair as well. Just absolutely forever. Ah, that was bloody. Got the job done, but at what cost? We've lost so many Germans to Brussels this turn. I think Germany's not going to get through against France this turn. This is going to be a major development. Obviously we want to put something in Saarbrücken here just to take it back, which is not, it's not much in the way of comfort. Italy doesn't really have much of anything to do at the moment because there's no war, and I don't know that Italy wants to get involved in a war. Though Germany might start begging for it to do. It just doesn't have the capacity to attack anything right now, except maybe here. This is a 7. That's 8 in defense. We have 7. Oh, yeah. Okay. So we have 17 against 8. That's 2 to 1. Yeah, no. We need to build more ground troops with Italy. That's all we need to build before there's any point in doing that. So that was the Axis turn. The Allies can now act. It's mud everywhere. It affects everyone. Germany has effectively been stopped in the mud of Flanders Field. It's pretty much that, wasn't it? Echoes from World War One. France could move up and take Antwerp. But at what cost? Let's see. It would require me to move, and I won't get any defense for the convoy up there, for that one precious resource. What do I get to do a combined for France? 1 naval move, 3 land moves. That's not a lot, is it? 3 land moves. Particularly not in the mud. So either we do a land to hold on to Antwerp as well as we possibly can and move everything accordingly and hope that good old Blighty might do something soon. Gonna have it like that. The Germans are not going to be able to attack Reims anyway anytime soon. So we're doing a land apparently. We're going to do a combined next impulse, I think, if we get a next impulse. We can move one of these units. It'll be the 5 over here. Everything is shifting west right now for fairly obvious reasons, except the HQs that can in fact not move at all. But this is not a bad setup. Germany will not be able to enter Antwerp. We keep that city, that deep sea port, allied for now. Britain! Oh, Britain. We can do a combine with Britain and send out some strategic bombardment here. There is... no factory knocking. But there is a factory in Dusseldorf, right? Yes, there is. It's a red factory. Okay, that would mean going without factory escort. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How good is the... it's pretty good. It's pretty good. The fighters can't reach all the way there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They would have a +1. I think it's worth it. So we're doing a combine and we're doing strategic bombardment. We have no reason to really move much navy. We need that extra transport, dang it, to get the Canadians overseas. Unless I'm sending this guy. I can do that. 1, 2, 3. There. We're going. Okay, so 5 against 6. Now we have a bomb run here. The roar of 4-engine bombers. We have a +1 to the Germans, which also means that the German fighter command will be completely exhausted after this, which is good for the French. That's why we're doing this, partially why we're doing this. 7 on a +1 for Germany is defender clears through, which was not at all what we wanted. So that is the best possible result. And we have an 8 for the British machine gunners inside these 4-engine bombers on a -1, and that is attacker clears through. There's nothing to clear through, so that is the end of the fight. I'm guessing the clouds got in the way of the Luftwaffe here, but it does mean that the Luftwaffe can rebase into Liège and now be in striking distance with the front line next turn. So there is a silver lining for Germany. 8! A single die. No, that's not a... There we go. Die. Roll the die. And it's a 3. I don't think that's going to have a lot of impact. Strategic bombardment. Boom. 3. 8. 1 resource. Germany loses 1 money this turn. French lost 2. And Germany loses 1. So the air war has started. And the first people to see action and fire in anger for the Commonwealth this war are the bomber crews. We have no reason at all to do any ground strikes because everything here is flipped. I'm talking about the Navy, the British Navy. And that is it for Britain. What are we doing with the Soviets? We are sending Rokossovsky to Odessa, why not? And one step. That's basically it. I don't have anything else for the Soviets to do. And the Chinese are fine where they are. Which means that we are now... Oh! First of all, the Axis are supposed to roll to end the turn, and the turn doesn't end, and now we're rolling to end the turn with the Allies. And the turn ends! Look at that! So that was second side impulse, and that is it for September-October. As I said, it would be a short turn. Alright, end of turn segment. Partisan phase. Let's go. We have a 6. Greece, the UK, Finland, France, Netherlands. Netherlands? French, Indochina, Philippines, and China. Okay. Netherlands. Probably not. We have 1, 2, 3. I think the tanks count as 2 because it's garrison rating, so it's 5. Yeah, no, the Partisans have no chance at all in the Netherlands. The Gestapo is there really quickly. Einsatztruppen, all those guys. We have 2 corps, we have 4 corps in China that can, in fact, interdict partisan activities. And they fail, so Japan loses a build point as well. So, 2 for France, etc. Okay, convoy attack phase. We have convoy attacks this time. We have convoy attacks for the first time, and we have 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 submarines against an undefended French convoy. That's bad for the French convoy. Oh my god, I just sent them to their deaths, didn't I? And it is on a +2 as well, so this is gonna be really bad for the French. Sorry, French! I wanted to get some ships out there to defend the convoy, but I couldn't. Not in time. Turn ended. 3 + 2 is 5. 5. The convoy is damaged, not sunk. 3 resources are sunk, but there's only 1 being shipped, so the one resource that was going there is gone. The convoy is only damaged, though. So that is good news for France. So France now has -3 money for this turn. The submarines have started to do their work for the first time in the war. And US entry phase. Okay, yeah, so we have 3 democracies at war. Let's see. +1 per year at war. We started 37. It's +2 then. And then we have 2 more democracies, so that's +2. And then we have -1 for Japan, 6. So that's +3 in total. Let's go. And we roll a 1! The US doesn't care about European affairs or foreign affairs. 1 + 3 is 4. 0. But a little bit. +1. I think we're putting it against Japan or Germany. Maybe Japan, actually. So that is going to give us Japan has an 86, that's a 30, still -10 for Italy, 32 effective against Germany. Do we want to do an entry option? That is the question right now. because an entry option does reduce US entry, but if we can close off all the shipping, let's see now, to Japan, we've done the embargo. Have we even done freeze that one? Relocate, okay. At this stage, we could do lend-lease to Western allies in future turns. But that is very expensive. Yeah, everything's just really expensive here. So I don't think we're going to do much of anything at the moment. Except maybe... You know what? The US is actually going to occupy Greenland and Iceland. So when you do move any other allied units in Greenland, the production circle to... Okay, so... the US can base troops on Iceland. That is what we're going to do, which does a 9 tension. But we... or are we? Let's face it, there is no way for the Germans to get to Greenland. Nah, no, let's not do that. We're not going to take any action right now. We want the US to get into the war as soon as humanly possible. That's what we... And I think that's going to be... Also, the US just doesn't have the money, right? So it's this eternal question. They've been trying to gear up all this year and just failing because they just... the turn ends. They just get rolled out every time. Alright, so what do we have? This one has to start September, October 39, which is right now. That is an aircraft carrier, so -3 money. And what aircraft carrier is that? The keel is being laid down to Hornet and Wasp. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, the British have not lost any production this turn. They will be at +4 because they went so deeply into debt. We'll not send any money to China, obviously. Need more transports. This one is for November, December 41, so we don't have to start building that one yet. November, December 42, we don't have to start building anything there yet. Very good. Transports, we don't have any transports left to build. This is a problem for the Commonwealth. We could build... No, not this turn. Too low on money. Maybe we just save the money this turn. We need more fighters. We need more strategic bombers, but a strategic bomber takes a long time to enter the war. The tactical bomber might be more advantageous. We can wreak havoc on the German lines. It would send us to a -1. But we're gonna do it. Because we don't have a single one yet. And that's a very good tactical bomber. It'd be very good indeed. So I think that was worth it. We're building that single unit this turn. -1 money. That's what we'll have to live with. So the Americans have built a ship. Commonwealth has not built a ship, but they have built an aircraft. France is also deep in debt with -2 money, 3 money actually, because of the strategic bombardment and the convoy. So that is going to be 7 money. So we're gonna be at -5 money for France, which is bad. So France doesn't build anything unless we're repairing the convoy or building it. No. We need new transport. We need new all sorts of things for France. But we have so little money right now that it hurts. Is France going to build nothing this turn? Repairing something costs something. Repairing a convoy costs 3. A light surface costs 2. The thing with the convoy is it comes in pretty quickly. So, okay, let's repair the convoy, shall we? And hope that counts as a ship. And hope that France can hold for long enough. It uses our money. 9 production per turn is juicy. And the USSR built what last turn? 2 infantry. We could build 3 infantry this turn with all this money. I'm fine with 2. I'm fine with 2, I think. Or we could do an armor and an infantry. How about that? I said armor. Ooh, that's a Siberian right there. Nice. Yeah, the armor always take a long time to enter the war. So, USSR spent the money on an infantry and an armor. China has 2 money, 5 money. The weather is terrible. We can rebuild Mao. We can rebuild a fighter. Let's rebuild a fighter. A 4. That's not bad. Take it. By the time summer comes along, the Chinese Air Force will be a factor yet again. Which is not something the Japanese will be happy about at all. Alright, so Germany, -17, +23. You did get to do the thing. That's +6 money. Now, of course, it's time to pay the piper, because that was just extraordinarily expensive for this turn. Ah, dear. We're gonna have to build an armor. We're gonna have to build 2 infantry. Actually, 3 infantry, because one of them is gonna be a para. We have fighters to build as well. So, 1 armor, that's 6 money. Shuffle properly. Let's go. And draw. Okay, so 6 money. I can't afford building 3 infantry because that's 9, 14 altogether. So let's just build a para. -5. And that is, as they say, it. That was a very costly turn for Germany. The German economy is reeling. Also, we lost a production, so -6. Because of that strategic bombing. Every little bit counts. Deutsche Afrika Corps. Okay, we have 9 money with Italy. Well, Italy can complete this destroyer group. Put some superstructure on those hulls right there. So that is 1 ship. There, and let's build an infantry. We have a lot of infantry to build with Italy. Pretty decent. No, not at all decent infantry. It's very Italian. A 3-3. Yeah, that's this is bad. Japan gets 11 this time because of those pesky partisans, so we'll be at 13. 11 is now at 40. That's next turn, so we don't have to build that one yet. This one has to start now because it's supposed to be on the map in 2 years. So that's an aircraft carrier. And we need some aircraft carriers, don't we? With Japan. Which one is it, I wonder? The Zuiho and Taiho. Not the best. It's something. That one doesn't have to get built yet. Do I want to build how much infantry? 3 infantry. I have 2 HQs left to build as well. Huh. I could do 1 of each. HQ and infantry. Nice. First Army. And Yamashita. Good stuff. Japan should build more tactical bombers too in the future. So we built a ship and an infantry with Japan. And that is all the builds. Return to base phase. It's going to be quite simple and straightforward. These 2 ships return back to Nagoya, I think it is. I think we're going to return these guys to... We can't return them to Amsterdam, can we? And there's no point in putting them here because that's just opening them up for a port attack. So let's go back to Kiel with all the subs until we have Brest or something like that. There is not much point. Or Norway. Norway is an objective. Going home here as well. This one rebases there. To Scapa Flow. To the Rock. And then we had these New Zealanders. Let's see how far they can get. 1. To 3 and 4. Alright, so they have arrived in British East Africa. Mombasa. Next turn, they can in fact be in Egypt, which is where they will be sorely wanted or needed. Very welcomed indeed. First extraterritorial, first colonials arriving. I think that is it as far as return to basing goes. So that means conquest phase. Yes, Belgium is conquered. And final reorganization. It was a short turn this time. And I will keep streaming short turns for the full turn. But when we get to the summer, the turns are going to be too long. So I'm going to divide them somehow. So we're going to cut somewhere in the middle. Brussels has fallen, but Antwerp is standing and is being held by the Allies. The Allies who still need to make an alliance with each other, another alliance level. We still do not have a non-aggression pact between Germany and the Soviets. I don't know how long the Soviets will accept going without one. The Soviets could attack at any point in time right now. So the Germans will have to pay attention to the east as well. And if the Soviets were to attack, it would be very bad for the Germans. Let's see, what else did we have here to unflip? That's not possible. We can't have 4 of these guys here. Okay, so I guess we have it like that then. There we go. Don't know what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. There we go. Alright, and yes, unflip. The one unit that has seen action for the British, the bombers. And that's it. They're there. We didn't even get the tactical bombers up to the front line this turn because it was so short. And we have some units here that need flipping. And this unit needs flipping. And I think that is it. Oh, Chang as well, yes. But that, I believe, is it for final reorganization. And with that, my friends, thank you very much for tuning in to another dispatch from the War Room. When we get back in a week from now, it's going to be November, December 1939. And if we look at the weather table, we have a -1 on the roll because of this bad weather here. Probably going to be winter. We cannot roll a 6. And we can get clear and temperate. There is a chance, a slim 1 in 6, that we get a clear in the temperate zone. But otherwise, it's going to be winter. Winter is actually better for the Germans in terms of movement rates, but not in terms of land attacks. So the window of opportunity for Germany to kick out France from the war during 1939 has officially closed, I think. Because now it's going to be a frozen front, and yeah, Belgium is gone. And that's where we're at. Yeah, that's That was a turn, let's just say. So thanks everybody for tuning in and following, and we will continue coverage of the war until the bitter end. See you next week, everybody.